with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your August forecast for 2015. And let's get started because I'm kind of doing things a little bit different. I know every month I kind of do things a little different because I'm trying to think I find my little niche. Now, I started doing daily horoscopes and energy readings for those of you that don't know that. And what I do is I talk about all the energies. I even list, like in the comments area, in the description area, I list the energies in and their signs and what kind of aspect they're in. And so because I spend so much time on my dailies, I feel like my monthlies should only be about the biggest parts of the month. And then I should just give you guys an idea of where energies are in your chart, like what houses they're in. And then when I'm talking about my dailies, you guys can say, oh, you know, Annette said that my sun is in my second house, and the sun today is heavily aspected by Saturn, which means, you know, I'm going to have some problems with valuing myself or something like that. So you can start to really understand the dailies on a sun, rising, moon sign, based ideal. Now understand that I'm a sun based or rising or moon based aspect for that daily, and I think this is going to be what you guys have been asking for. I cannot possibly do monthlies and dailies and do a weekly and have them be sun signs. It's just not going to happen because I have to say no at some point. Again, all this is free, and I spend an enormous amount of time, like my whole entire holiday weekend, I spent doing all of this for you. So, I draw the line there. I gotta draw it somewhere. So let's talk about energies. We are having a lot of energy shift this month. It's important to understand where the energies are and how they've shifted and where they're going to affect you in what house. So, on the 1st, we're going to have Saturn go direct. Now, Saturn was in retrograde in Sagittarius, then it went back and then it retrograded in Scorpio in July. And, you know, that was a really tough transit for many people because it brought up a lot of issues that were back in 2012 and 2014, old karmic issues, old karmic things that we needed to resolve. For most of us, if we passed all those tests, then it meant that we had something benefic come out of it. I know that I had a big test, you know, in that month, and it was a very difficult test. I kind of ran away from it, and then, you know, because like Cancers just love to run away and go in their shells, and I don't deal with anything because I have Gemini rising. And so it did come up, and I had to be honest about some feelings I had, and then I had to do what I should have did in the first place instead of run away with it. And in turn, you know, I met a YouTube goal, and, you know, YouTube recognized me in a certain way that I felt was really cool. And so Saturn came in and was benefic. And so I think it's important to understand that with bad does come good. And so we really revisited this whole Saturn and Scorpio thing. For many of you, it was very difficult. Even though Saturn and Scorpio and Pisces energy are very, very close, it can, if you're experiencing this transit and it's in a tough aspect, then this energy is very draining, very tiring, very hardcore. And, you know, you could have experienced some just really, really, you know, sad situations happen that really took the gusto out of you. But for many of you who have done all of their work, you know what? Saturn came in and was benefic and opened your eyes in relationships and gave you beautiful, beautiful prizes at the end of all of your suffering that you've been going through for many years. And so I think that for the most part, it just depends on where you were in your journey. Apparently, I wasn't far enough along in my journey because Saturn decided to stick it to me one more time. Thank you, Saturn. But anyhow, so we have Saturn going direct in your 5th house. Now for you, this is in love, romance. This is in romantic love affairs. This is taking relationships to the next level physically. This is about creativity. It's about a wonderful, pleasurable experiences. And so when when Saturn goes direct, it wants to give you, if you're good in karma, if you paid back all your debt, you did all your work, then it starts to be incredibly benefic. It removes a bunch of obstacles, and you start to see some of those dreams come to fruition that you were hoping to get. The first week in August is going to be hard because Jupiter is going to want to go in there and expand you in every possible way. But Saturn is going to want to slam on the brakes a little bit and in that first week. So you're going to feel like you want to rev the engine, but you're going to feel like, Saturn's in there still pulling you back. I just think it's just a little bit of a lesson. Please just pay attention to what Saturn is trying to say. If Saturn is asking you to slow down, then there's obviously a really good reason that you need to slow down, and you need to just heed the warning and just do the work. And you know what? If it's meant to be, you can slam on the gas pretty soon. We also have on the 8th, we have Mars going into Leo. Now, Mars has been in Cancer in July, and I hated it. I have never felt so just not happy. I just wasn't happy in July. Mars is in Leo for me. And so when Mars went back into Cancer, it was like all of the vitality that I had, I was really just stuck at home. I really didn't want to go out. I was really emotional. And every time I was emotional, I wanted just to run back home and do the Cancer thing. And I just didn't have that vitality to want to push through it and move forward and be passionate. Mars likes being in a fellow fire sign. It does not like being in water energy. So it was really, it felt out of sorts, and I completely felt that energy. I can tell you this all month. It was a rough month for me. But thankfully, it's getting back into its roots. And I love that Mars is going into its home with me, because that means I get me back. So what does this energy mean for you guys? It means that sexual desire is going to be emphasized. Wanting to feel bodily pleasures is extremely emphasized during this transit. Living with a Mars and Leo, I have a PhD in it. And I can tell you that if you want something, your entire body, especially if you want somebody or you want to elevate that relationship to the next level, your entire body responds to passionately. And there is it's the most sexual position for Mars. So for many of you who've been thinking about taking that romantic relationship to the next level, or you've had your eye on somebody from afar, you're going to be like, yeah, give me some of that. You're also going to be very, very passionate about everything else. Creative endeavors. You could be incredibly creative and have this vigor to pursue this creative endeavor. And you're going to be relentless. You're not going to want to let it go. You're going to be good at it. Really, really good at creating whatever it is you want to create. So this energy is just making you feel vital again. It's making you feel alive. It's making you feel fired up. And then on the 11th, we have Jupiter was going to move into Virgo. Now, Jupiter in Virgo is a debilitated energy. And so Jupiter wants to go in and expand and be this incredibly benefic thing to you. It's used to giving it to the individual. But the only way that Jupiter is really, really going to expand your life in the next 12 months to come is through service of others. So if you are doing things that benefit all or others, you are going to find that Jupiter is going to expand that area and make it highly beneficial for you to take off in whatever that area is. Now for you, this is in your third house. So this is in teaching, learning. This is in communication. This could have something to do with, just some siblings you may have had problems with this, or relationships that you want to take to the next level. It could be, you know, you're just going to think clearly. You're going to communicate effectively with others, but you have to have others in mind when you're doing this. Virgo energy is a service-based energy. I have my Venus in Virgo. I have my South Node in Virgo. So it makes sense that my purpose here is to serve, and that's how I show my love, is to be of service to others. So when I love you, I'm going to go clean your house. You know, when I love you, I'm going to make your favorite meal. When I love you, you know, I'm going to remember that little thing you wanted, and I'm going to go get it for you. It's not this, you know, Jupiter is used to giving you presents and being benefic and risk-taking, and you're going to be riskier in conversations with others. You're going to be riskier in the fact that you're going to want to do things that are beneficial for others. You know, so it can expand you in areas, but it's not going to be like, oh, I'm just going to talk my way out of a paper bag. I lied about something, and so Jupiter's going to go in there, expand me, and get me out of that. No, it's not going to be that way. Jupiter will go in there and expose you to, or the cracks in the way that you communicate, how you manipulate people to get what you want. It's going to do that. So just be forewarned about that weird energy that we're going to be dealing with for the next 12 months. And then we have a beautiful, glorious new moon on the 14th, and that's going to be in Leo. Now, this is the first new moon that I can honestly say we're not sitting in a debilitated, you know, heavily aspected, and, you know, just this poor little moon that's just wrought with all this anguish, that trudged up all this emotional issues. No, this is not that new moon. In fact, this new moon is going to, it is well aspected. Of course, it has tough aspects, but it's overall very well aspected to give us a pleasurable experience. This is about new beginnings. You are going to set some boundaries for how others value you. The value you place on yourself. You're going to start to look at yourself in a new way. You're going to start to feel better about your life and your choices, and when you look in the mirror, you're going to be proud of yourself. You're going to get to that point where you're going to start to feel a change in the way that you pursue life, because you have this new feeling of inner strength. This can also mean that, you know, financially you start to make some very serious goals about progression, about getting more of the things that you want in life. It could mean that you go out and buy a new car, you know, and it's a good purchase instead of something that you might have to take back, even though I don't recommend that, because Venus is actually in retrograde, and I don't recommend that you buy things based on pleasure. Don't buy a sports car, but go out and buy a family vehicle that will benefit all involved. You know, it has to be something that it's modest. It's got to be something that is a practical purchase. If you base your relationships, you know, they say don't ever start a relationship when Venus is in retrograde. So don't start new relationships right now, but definitely go out there and, you know, if you've been in a relationship and you want to take this new moon and you want to start it out the right way, when Venus is in retrograde, it's about reconciling old relationships. It's about taking relationships to the next level that are going to be around for a while. You know, it's about past relationships. Somebody from your past could come back and heal some old wounds, or you could actually, you know, want to partner with that person. Or it could take that past relationship and make you guys have the talks that you should have had way back in the past and help that energy progress forward. That is all happening. This new moon is beautiful. New moons are new beginnings. It's time to plant seeds. It's time to show people, set the proper boundaries that's going to stand for the entire test of time of this relationship, if it's an established relationship or it's a relationship from the past. If it's a relationship that comes from moving forward and it's brand new, then I'd say don't do that right now. Again, stay away from highly expensive, pleasurable experiences. We're not talking about doing that right now in this new moon. We're talking about making everything practical, everything that thinks of all and especially others. And I think that you're going to find that these people are going to value you more based on this new outlook that you have. We have a full moon on the 29th in Pisces, which is well aspected by its ruling planet, Neptune. And so you've got a watery moon in a really, really beautiful, harmonious aspect to its ruler. This is a delicious moon. I think for most of you, this is going to elevate your thinking, right? This is going to, you guys are going to be so crazy intuitive on this moon. It is going to feel like you are plugged in and getting messages from beyond. If you are spiritually inclined, you are going to come to a new level of understanding in your spirituality coming the next 4 weeks. This is about, breaking through the barriers of what's false in your life and seeing things for what they are and manifesting the highest potential. This is about fantasy. Fantasize about something long-term. Fantasize about something that could actually manifest something for the rest of your life. This is if you dream of anything, which you will, if you go along your day, you may see signs. You may just see a bunch of signs pointing you in a direction. If that's true, then you need to really, really pay attention to those signs and what they're telling you. Good, bad, doesn't matter. It just matters what they're saying to you. Write them all down. Really think these through. These are coming from a source that you can't possibly understand. And because you understand all of this Pisces energy better than anybody, this energy is going to be speaking on a level that not everybody is going to get these same messages. This is a glorious month. Yes, it is leading up. There is energy in this month that we will talk about in the dailies. And we are leading up to a very crazy September. There's a reason why all the themes and the messages that you receive that happen this month, because we're talking about taking everything to the next level come next month. I mean, September has some amazing energy to talk about in it, and I completely think it's just going to be one of those firecracker months again where we're going to be like holding on and going on a roller coaster ride for a while. So let's talk again. I'm just going to briefly touch on the energies where they are so that you know them for the dailies. Again, so you have Jupiter moving into your 3rd house. The Sun, Venus, and Mars are all in your 2nd. We have Saturn is in your 5th. We have the new moon in your 2nd house, and we have the full moon in your 9th house. And so just keep those in mind for when we're talking on our dailies about where everything is at. And I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner.